Step where I step.
Hoppity hoppity.
It's like she's dancing on air.
Whoa, those are sick arrowheads.
Oh, careful now. Oh no, someone had an extra helping of salad.
What's up, DC Nation? Welcome back to another video. And guys, like the video, give a big thumbs up and YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe because I have great DC Comics content every day that you don't want to miss. Now guys, Harley Quinn, episode 3 of season 2, titled Trapped. Now, this pretty much, there's a lot of stuff in this episode. It's like the Gotham City Sirens with like Catwoman, Poison Ivy, and Harley Quinn. We also have like a subplot with like Dr. Psycho and Riddler, which is really good. And we have different stuff like Kite Man, Poison Ivy, and Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. It's a lot of stuff that happens in this episode, but how I'm just going to start out with it is Catwoman. Was she good in this episode? Yes, she was. Like, she shows up and she's just like perfectly Catwoman. She's like stealing stuff, and Poison Ivy, she thinks like, oh, she doesn't care about anything, like she doesn't care about anybody, and Poison Ivy wanted to live up to her and stuff. And you see Catwoman go like team up with Poison Ivy to like steal this like flamethrower. Because what's happening is like they beat Riddler, they kill Penguin, and now they're gonna try to beat Mr. Freeze. And Harley Quinn needs to get through like his ice wall, and the only way to do that is to use like a flamethrower that's in the hands of this villain named Trapped. And he has all these different weapons, like Penguin's umbrella, which is really interesting. It's actually a funny joke with Harley Quinn's like, can I take that too? Because I kind of killed him.
Hey, is that Penguin's umbrella? Ooh, I kind of want that. It's worth more now that I killed him.
And we see him going after this, and they pretty much team up with Catwoman to pretty much steal it. It's a stealing job, and they need the perfect thief, and Catwoman's perfect for it. And we see Catwoman show up with Poison Ivy, they team up, they go through the thing, and Catwoman's like stealing everything, and she gets away on her own. And we don't see a lot of Catwoman, like it's not a lot of content for her, but I'm pretty sure she'll show up in the future. But for what we got, it's really good. I'm like, okay, that's Catwoman. Like, why would she like care about anybody else? Like, she just wants to steal stuff. But I really want to see an episode where we see Harley in it, right? But there's Batman and then there's Catwoman. Like, just something like that. Because I want to see all their, like, banter in one scene. It'd be really dope. Now, away from Catwoman, we see in this episode also that Kite Man, Poison Ivy. Now, this is actually an important development because when they go inside Trapp's like lair, it's like steal his flamethrower. Because this whole episode is just based off, they go steal something, they get the flamethrower, and they get back. Like, Trap is a villain. He's not a great villain. He's just one of those villains that sprung up in this whole like time in Gotham with like the Joker gone, and he gets beat by Harley pretty easily. But we see him steal his flamethrower, and Kite Man goes in with Harley. And while Catwoman and Poison Ivy are stealing this thing, pretty much what Harley and Kite Man are doing is trying to like steal this ring. And Kite Man wants to get this ring to pretty much propose for Poison Ivy. Now, it's a good arc, it's funny, because he's just such a loser. Like, Kite Man is such a great character in this show. Like, at the beginning when he's flying them, he's great, like all these jokes, and then he tries to propose, but the Poison Ivy's like, no, it's not the right time for this, because she feels embarrassed in front of Catwoman and stuff. But they get trapped, and she's kind of mad. She's like, I want to go back to the old days where I wasn't like a retired villain. I want to be back to like killing people. You even see a sequence where she's hardly talking about this, and she's killing all these different guys. Like, it's actually kind of graphic, but it's hilarious. Alright, she's killing all these different guys. And afterwards, she actually realizes, you know what, I'll go for it. And she actually asked Kite Man to, like, propose again. He asked her, but before she could say yes or no, it pretty much cuts the credits. So we don't know about that. Now, that's not, like, the best thing. I'm like, okay, I'm not, like, waiting for the next episode for that. But it was still a really interesting arc. And I'm looking forward to see what they do with Poison Ivy throughout this whole season. Like, will she be with Kite Man more? Will she have like a bigger relationship with Harley Quinn? Like, I don't want her to have like a relationship with Harley. Like, I like them as friends, not like a couple. Like, I like the whole Kite Man and Poison Ivy thing. Like, it came from left field last season. It's been so good this season, and this episode really shows that. Now, guys, they show up, and they do eventually get the flamethrower, they get back, and it's just awesome. It's paced very well, the episode's paced well, and you see a lot of different action sequences. Harley cracks some good jokes, and it's just a good, like, main storyline. Now, for a subplot, we got Dr. Psycho, King Shark, Cyborg Man, Clayface. They're all back at the lair at the mall, and they have pretty much Riddler. He's still on that hamster thing, because remember they kidnapped Riddler last episode, but he gets away. He doesn't get away, but gets out of like his containment, and Dr. Psycho looks for him, and you have this whole like chase thing where like the different like people of Harley's crew pretty much go against each other on accident because Riddler's just like playing them, which is so cool because Riddler is such a good villain, and it shows here. Like when Dr. Psycho in this episode was like, oh, I'll just play with your mind. I'm like, are you serious? Riddler really gonna go down that easy? But he doesn't. And by the end of the episode, he's like, alright, I'm not leaving. Like, I have workout stuff here, and I got entertainment. Like, it's pretty hilarious. Like, really, it's like, I have no reason to, like, leave. Like, go out there and deal with all this madness, or stay in here. I go work out, I have food, I have everything I need, and I got entertainment with you dummies. Like, it's good seeing, and with the ending of this, we now have Riddler in there, so I like that Riddler stayed alive. Like, they killed him off, that'd been dumb. Like, I get killed out Penguin. Like, that's kinda, like, like, I like how Penguin died. Like, it's good in episode 1. It's a big shocker. But there's no more Penguin, and it's sucking to kill off Riddler too. Because then you have Scarecrow, Penguin, and Riddler dead, and that wouldn't make sense. But still, Riddler's still in the show. He adds a lot of comedy, and I'm looking forward to see what they do in this season with him. Another character that shows up in this episode is Frank the Plank. Now, as you guys know, I love Frank the Plank. He's such a great character. Like, he only has a couple jokes and a couple scenes in this episode, but he's really good. He's hilarious, and his interaction with Dr. Psycho is so good because pretty much everybody's against Dr. Psycho in this episode. Like, the subplot, they're like, oh, he doesn't deserve to be on the team. He's dumb. And Riddler's like, even Riddler's against him. Riddler's like, you pretty much don't deserve to be a villain. You're not like a big villain. And Dr. Psycho's like, I was a big villain, but then I said like pretty much I said something on Wonder Woman, and that caused my reputation to just drop. Because that, guys, as you remember last season, he said something pretty bad. It was hilarious. But you have a bunch of stuff in this episode, the subplot, that has callbacks last season, but also great banter between like Harley's crew. Like, it's good that they did that because you don't need to always have Harley and her crew be together. So if you always do that, that's like, okay, you really get developed with Harley, but not the other characters. So it's good to see Dr. Psycho, King Shark separate from the group and gain a lot of content. Also, Frank the Plant. Like, what's better than having King Shark, Dr. Psycho, and Frank the Plant all in one subplot? Like, that's awesome. But guys, that's pretty much the episode. Like, the subplot's great, the main storyline's great, and it's just a really well-paced episode. Like, if you're expecting like a lot of Gotham City Sirens, you do get it in a way. Like, feel like callbacks, like Poison Ivy and Catwoman worked together back then, and Catwoman pretty much bailed on her. And you never really see Harley and Catwoman, like Poison Ivy, like all working together. You see it for about a minute, that's it. But you see all these separate groups. You see Harley, Kite Man in one group. You see Catwoman and Poison Ivy in one group. Then you got the subplot with like the crew, Harley's crew against like Riddler. So you have a lot of different moving parts in this episode, but it comes together so well by the end of the episode, and I really like it. Now, in terms like, is it the best episode of the season? Yeah, I think it's the best episode of the season because the animation of this episode is really top notch. So I think it's up that level because different sequences of this episode is just so animated very well, and there's different parts that's so detailed. I'm like, alright, let's go. Like, the animation's getting really detailed, and it's looking good. Now, I think it's better than episode 2 by a long margin, but I think it's barely better than episode 1. Because episode 1, mainly what made that episode so great was the shocker of Penguin's death. Now, this episode, what makes it so great was Catwoman, the Gotham City Sirens, and the whole Kite Man, Poison Ivy, like, relationship. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm overall going to give this episode an 8.5 out of 10. I totally recommend it. You should check it out. And next episode, I think we're actually going to go against Mr. Freeze. So, will they kill him or will they keep him alive? I hope they keep him alive. And yeah, guys, in the comment section below, tell me what you thought about this episode. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What do you think about Riddler? Do you like his whole, like, arc with him actually staying to get entertainment? What do you think about Catwoman? Do you think they did her well? Do you think there should have been more of her? And what do you think about the whole Kite Man and Poison Ivy relationship? And you think it'll develop even further, or will this episode take a different route and do the whole Poison Ivy and Harley thing? I hope they don't do that, because like having them become a couple, I just don't like that. Like, it's like, come on, they're friends, and you already have a great established relationship with Poison Ivy and Kite Man, so why ruin that? But yeah, guys, that's pretty much the video. If you liked it, give a big thumbs up in YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe. I start release great content every day that you don't want to miss. And yeah, guys, that's the video, and peace out.